Today we're going to talk about multiplying complex numbers. Now, as I already said, every number you can imagine, everything that you've worked with, falls under the category of a complex number. So let's start up with something that we do know. 2x times 3x. Now I know that 2 times 3 is 6, and x times x is x squared. So therefore, 2x times 3x equals 6x squared. I took the coefficients, multiplied those together. I took my variables, multiplied those together, and we got our answer. This is something that we know how to do, we should be comfortable with. Now for radicals. If I were to have 2 root 3 times 3 root 2, when I was adding and subtracting, I couldn't combine those because they're unlike terms. But much like when working with variables, we can multiply unlike terms together. And we're going to do it by following the same logic. 2 times 3 is 6. Square root of 3 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 6. So therefore, 2 root 3 times 3 root 2 is 6 root 6. Imaginary follows the same logic with a little bit of a twist. So 3i times 4i is 12i squared, or 12ii. Because 3 times 4 is 12, and I times I is I squared. Now, I squared is not okay to leave. It's not simplified. Much like 2/4 should be 1/2, we can't leave I squared in our answer. Now, I squared is the square root of -1 squared. So when we square a square root, they cancel. Or the square root of -1 times the square root of -1, the square roots cancel out, we get -1. So up here, I have 12 times -1, and 12 times -1 is -12. So I'm going to post a couple problems. One's multiplying radicals, the other's multiplying imaginary. Try them out, see how it goes. I will say that when you write your answers, whether you're dealing with radicals or imaginary, you should always deal with your real term first, and then plus or minus whether it's a radical or an imaginary term. So 2 plus I is a correct way to write this. 2 plus the square root of 3 is also the correct format. I plus 2, that's not okay. Root 3 plus 2, also not okay. So make sure it goes that real term first, and then you get into your radicals and your imaginary. Good luck.